So we today talk about the authentication and authorization work. So authentication and authorization work in .NET code. Okay. Okay. So this is a today topic. Let's we first explain in brief about. So first we tell what is authentication. So what is authentication? So so in simple word we can say in authentication, we say who are you? They are just ask question, who are you? Okay. So how can we there explain? Like it's verify identity of user. Okay. So authentication means they ask you who are you. Okay. So it verify the identity of the user. Okay. So in one word, it verify identity of user. Okay. Example: how can you verify the user? Like you can ask the username and password. Okay. And second, these days we can use JWT token. And we go if we go more modernization, we use the OAuth login, and also we can go Google login. Majority temporary based login, we work with Google login type. So that's meaning if you have Google account, you can use it. Okay. If identity is correct, user is authenticated. So one would say if identity is correct, user is authenticated. So user is authenticated. Okay. So now we go step two. In second step, we go with authorization. What is authorization? Okay. So authorization, they have say authorization means that's mean what are you allowed to do? Allowed to do. Okay. This is a question asked what are you allowed to do? Okay. Example: admin can delete user, and normal user cannot delete you. Okay. And only manager can approve orders. Only manager can approve user or orders, etc. So these are the example. What you can do or what are you allowed to do? Authentication come first, authorization come after that. So the hierarchy we have say authentication come first, and then come authorization come after that. And then let's we go step 3. So the step 3 have how it's work in .NET Core. Okay, so that is question. So in .NET Core, authentication and authorization handle using a lot of way. In .NET Core, authentication and authorization handle handle using either we can use middleware, middleware or authentication scheme. They can use authentication user, or we have also got they have used middleware, authentication scheme, policy and role, okay, and attributes. Okay, okay. So in JWT application flow, so let's talk about the step 4. We talk about the JWT authentication flow. Okay, so these are in general most commonly used. So let's understand the JWT examples. So let's understand with JWT example. So first have user login. Okay, so user sends our username, password. Okay, and server will validate the credential. Okay, and then we go step 2. Server get generate JWT token. So token contain in generally we have contain an user ID, role, claims, and expiry time. So these are still these contain the JWT token. Okay. So client send token in every request. So what happened after that? Client client send token in every request. Okay. So in header have something called authorization barrier head token barrier and set the head token. Every request they have sent this way standard way. And then fourth middleware comes. Middleware validate token. Okay. So how can we do the .NET Core middleware checks? Middleware checks. Is token valid? Is token valid? Or we also they have check is expired and is signature correct? So these are two by middleware. If user valid, user is authenticated. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the basic setup of examples. Come with step 5. Okay. So in program.cs, they have a builder service. Register that. Builder service have that add authenticated, add authentication. Okay. So inside they have barrier, in this barrier add JW2 token. Okay. So inside barrier have barrier, then they pass parameter options, and the options are they have add options, token validate, token validate parameter. They have initialized new, that token validate parameter they have also pass some values. Inside had validate issuer, we get a false, and then we have validate audience, and then validate lifetime, validate lifetime. So it's check if the token expired or not. Then validate issuer signing key. And then they have issuer signing key, where it's come from. There is a key. It come from your secret keys. It's come either or your web config or a Azure Key Vault or identity manage or secret manage AWS secret management. Whatever you have, use it. Inside they have encoding .utf get byte. Okay, and inside you have secret key. Okay, so there is key come from. It can come from either any way, multiple places. So this is a function add authenticator where they have passed these things. Okay, so then they have builder service, add authorization. Add authorization. Okay, so they have used these have add authentication and then add authorization. Authentication we provide how they authenticate it, and then we use add authorization. So we have registered service added. Okay, so enable middleware. After that we can what they do add authentication and add authorization. These are two way to enable middleware. Okay, so app dot use authentication. Use authentication or same happen app dot they have added these middleware added after app creation. They have builder service and add middleware. Okay, so important authentication must come before authorization. So it makes sure authentication must come before authorization. Must come authorization. Okay, this is a key benefit. Otherwise, they have just throwing errors. Then we go step 6. So protecting controllers. How can protect controller? Okay. So they ask request login. Okay. So what they have used? Required login. Okay. So you need to require login. How can protect controller? So they have add attribute. They have used authorize keyword. So that's mean user must be login. Like public I action result some variables and inside their functionality. Return okay. Order list. Okay. Okay. So then we go with the role-based authentication, role-based authorization, role-based authorization. So it's come add attribute authorization, authorize, authorize have role admin. So this means only admin can access it. Delete user. Delete user. Okay. User is deleted. Okay. So this is a role-based authorization. And then we come to claim-based authorization. We have claim-based authorization. So you can also define the policy. So we can policy. We can add in builder services. We have optional add policy manager only policy. We have added builder services dot add authorization. Inside authorization, they have ask parameter option. They ask for option dot add policy. Inside they have manager only, and they ask policy type. Policy dot require claims. What they have claim, they have must be role is manager. Their role should be manager. These are policy we can set it. Okay, just close it. This function we close it there. Then authorization policy. Then we can add inside a attribute we can add authorization policy manager only. Okay, so this policy we can add it, and whatever they have used, they have manager used. So role must be manager. They must have claims called manager. Manager claims they can do manager actions. So we can add multiple policies here. So role manager, admin, this type of stuff. So let's talk about the how connect everything. how everything connected. So flow they have first user login, then it go to JWT gateway, JWT generation, then we go with the client session, client send token, client send token, and then we come middleware validate, middleware validated. Okay, and then we go controller check role, have check role or either check policy, and then access is granted or denied. Okay, these are the rest of flow. So it have must some points we can mention it like they have authentication means identity. There are some terminology. Authentication means identity. Authorization means permission. Permission. And then JWT is stateless. And then middleware handles validation. Handle validation. Always use HTTPS. And store secret keys securely. These are these are some basic point we must be note down the entire the schedule. So let's go with final thought. Authorization and authentication answer. Like who are you? And then we come authorization answer. What can you do? Both together policy and APIs. Both together protect APIs. Our API and secure the system. Then that's all. Thank you. So these are all of things. So let's just brief about once again. So authentication authorization work in .NET Core. Like what is authentication? It say who are you. It verify identity of user. Example if by username and password, JWT token, auth login, Google login, etc. Auth 2. If identity corrected, then user is authenticated. Then we go step 2. What is authorization? That's mean What are you do to allow? What are allowed to do? What are allowed to do? Example, admin can delete user, normal user cannot delete the user, only manager can approve user or it approved users and orders. Authentication come first, then authorization come after that. Then we go step 3. What what how it work in .NET Core? Like in .NET Core, authentication and authorization are handled using first middleware, authentication scheme, policy and role, and attributes. These are engaged. So we come to step 4, JWT authentication flow. Most common, like let's use it. Just understand with JWT example. So first user is logged in. So user sends username, password. Server will validate the credentials. So server generates JWT token, and the token contains your username, role, claim, expiry time, etc. Then client send token in every request. In handler they have authentication barrier token. In header they have send authentication column barrier tokens. So middleware validates the token. .NET Core middleware checks is your token valid, is it expired, is signed correctly or not. If user valid and user is authenticated. If valid then user is authenticated. Then we go some codings, low level coding. Basic step setup examples like program.cs we have add builder services, add authentication. Inside they have pass barrier, inside barrier. We can add JWT barrier. They have barrier options like option toggle validation parameter. We passed a token validation parameter like validate issuer false, validate issuer like who issue validate it like if we have only one domain then you can use it and validation validate audience matlab who are they, then validate lifetime is the expiry allowed or not, then validate issuer signing key it must be true, so who is issuer signing key or not, and then issuer signing key we pass it, either it come from web config, Azure Key Vault or AWS Key Vault they have used Azure Vault and Azure Secure Secure Service. And then we have add builders in builder service add also authorization. And then we enable middleware called app.use authentication and app.use authorization. So in middle it makes some authentication most common. So there is a note like authentication must come before make sure authentication must come before authorization. So let's go step 4 protect controller. There must be a required login. By attribute they use a required login authorized. That means must be logged in. So if they can get order and then role based authentication. You can authorization pass role or in authorized claim in authorization also we can call claims. So for For claims, we use policy. In builder service add authentication, we add a policy. And inside policy, they have rule. Like what are they doing? Like policy require claim, role is manager. Then they use a policy manager only. Then authorization policy manager only we can use it. So we can use multiple role at a time. However, so how everything go? User login, zero to generate, client send token, middleware validated, control check policy, and then access is granted or denied. They have some key point. Authentication is identity, authorization is permission, JWT is stateless, middleware handle validation. Always use HTTPS. Store secret key securely. So final thought it. Authentication say who are you? Authorization answer what you can do. Both together protect our APIs and secure the system. This is a brief about authentication and authorization. I hope the communication is strong. Thank you.